Before we start anything, we always like to give God the glory. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the day. We thank you for this experience. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for the people who've made it out. Thank everyone who came out, who took their time to celebrate this great accomplishment.
Good evening, visionaries, and welcome to Legacy Vision Incubator. This is a place for our members to experience a dynamic work environment that breaks the isolation of working from home, working by yourself at coffee shops. And my name is Geralda Larkins. I'm a visionary strategist and CEO of Geralda Larkins Consulting and Impact Kingdom Ministries. We teach kingdom essentials for success in life, in ministry, and in the marketplace. It's truly a privilege to share the vision of legacy with all of you on tonight. This incubator is where we cultivate disciples on a mission to fulfill the Great Commission. We're a one-stop shop for business resources like facilities, startup services, media, financial capital, coaching, strategic planning, and networking connections.
Good evening and welcome everyone. Good evening to all my creative people out there. I am M. Denise Simmons, CEO of MD Simmons Productions, and it's a company that's all about revolutionizing the arts, media, and entertainment industry through film, TV, and production projects, and it's all about giving God glory. And tonight of another episode of Hashtag Creative Mindset, you guys are just in for a treat. You guys know that creative mindset is all about inspiring people to create what God has put in them, motivating them to pursue their dreams in the arts, media, and entertainment industry, and then just educate you on how to be successful in your craft. And we do this through Bible-based discussions, and we do it through conversations with just dope, creative people that are doing things in their own lane, and they are doing it so successfully. So I'm just super, super excited because this lady right here that's sitting next to me, like, she is a dope, dope chick. Like, oh my gosh. Evelyn O of Evelyn O Productions is pioneering an industry of fashion for the African diaspora. Like, you guys, like, for the past 8 years, she has been doing her thing in the fashion industry in South Florida. So I can talk all day about her, but I just want her to tell us about yourself. And first of all, thank you for being on the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here, and anything that I can do to be in your space is always a good thing. So thank you.
So tell everybody about yourself, like what you do, how you do it, like all that.
I gotta match her energy first of all. So let me amp up. But my name's Evelyn O. Evelyn Onyejurua. I am a native of the beautiful country of Nigeria, and I was raised here in South Florida. And basically, with Evelyn O Productions, we have a couple of things that fall under that. So Ankara Miami is the most well-known component of that, and that's our special events-based company that, you know, promotes African culture, promotes African people, and African as in of the diaspora. So that's everybody. You're Africans, you're Caribbeans, you're whatever you want to call yourself, but we are all from one originator. But I love to promote that. I love to take that back to a space of celebrating the culture and letting people feel welcome to celebrate it as well. So it's not an exclusive thing. It's definitely all inclusive. So yeah, I've had the pleasure of working with MD Simmons Productions for a number of years, and I can't imagine being able to do what we do without their involvement. So definitely appreciate the invite. Looking forward to the chat, and let's get into it.
Okay. All right. So she's being so modest. Okay. So she is the executive producer. She is the creative mind behind this movement. And I want you to really, really like tell people like just what is the process for you, right? Because you're the overseer, you're the visionary, but when it comes to producing these high level fashion shows, oh my gosh, and you're being called all over I'm gonna claim it right now, all over the world, okay? But we're traveling state to state right now. But you are putting together, you know, a huge production. Like, what is that process like for you? How does that go for you? Like, share with people, like, how do you do that? Like, how do you go about that?
So she's putting things into the atmosphere. We're city to city right now. We will be state to state, and we will be global. But basically, the fashion, okay, so the most well-known event within Ankara Miami is Ankara Miami, the premier African Fashion Week. And when I say that, I mean that. Like, we're the first and only established African Fashion Week in Florida, not just South Florida. So what that means is 7 years ago, I won a pageant. I won a local cultural pageant, the Miss Nigeria Florida pageant. And with that platform, I wanted the opportunity to, again, you know, share that culture and let people have that open invite to come in and join me in that. And I felt like, you know, what is something, there were different options, you know, do we do a concert? What do we do? And I felt like, you know, everybody wears clothing and everybody's always looking to just wear the latest fashion, whatever that means to them. So why not find a way to promote African fashion and have a social and cultural event at the same time? So Ankara Miami started 7 years ago. It was a one-day event. Where we just featured local designers. We had a designer come in from Texas and just found the opportunity to give them that platform to showcase what they're doing and what their talent was. So that was 7 years ago. Since then, we've extended to a 2-day event, partnered with Macy's, and just, you know, had the opportunity to kind of incorporate multiple types of designers, as well as include that corporate show into the fashion event and have like a mixer and all those types of things. And then eventually 2015, we extended to a 4-day event. And with that came City of Miami and a couple of other government agencies had actually proclaimed the week as African Fashion Week. So it was a pretty big thing. And when I call it the Premier African Fashion Week, like, I mean that. We strive to do things in the capacity of excellence and make sure that the people that are involved are coming in with positivity and coming in with, you know, a genuine heart and actually wanting to contribute to the vision of it. It's one thing to have a fashion show, and it's one thing to put on events, which a lot of people don't know what goes into putting on an event. And you know, you walk in and you have your expectation of things are just going to go right when I walk in, and I don't care what you've done in your planning stages. Tonight, I paid my money to be here. I need a great experience, and that's what it is. A lot of my background training, I come from a healthcare world, and then between that and the sorority I joined in college, I had the training, the mindset of, you know, anything you do it with excellence. And you provide an experience. So again, with event planning, it's like, you know, your steps to get to where it needs to be. You have your vision, you have your delegation, you have your implementation, you have your execution. Like there are things that I have to make sure are in order before we get to the day of, so that the person that's walking in there from the second they step foot on the grounds get that experience. So whatever that means to them, the music, the vibe of the people greeting them, you know, the comfort level of the venue, whatever that means to that person. But it's so easy to get a negative response that you want to make sure you try to cover all bases as much as possible to make them walk away with a great feeling. The other thing that I think sets us apart in this arena, because, you know, there's a number of wonderful event planners out there, and I respect that grind. But I think the thing that sets us apart is the African component of it, of course. I'm appealing to a niche market that might not have known they were missing this until, you know, it got on the scene. But years ago, before I started, and you cut me off whenever you need.
No, go, you're flowing.
Years ago, before I started, I felt like I didn't really see things that were in mainstream. So being Nigerian, of course, you know, our different associations in South Florida are doing multiple events throughout the year, and celebrating their tribe, or celebrating, you know, the local their local region, or the area that they're from in Nigeria, and that's beautiful, wonderful. But I didn't feel like there were things that were being put in the mainstream to allow anybody to have access and want to feel like they're invited and want to feel like they have a place in that space. So just providing that stage, I think, has been a wonderful thing. I can see a huge difference from when I started to now. You know, there are a lot more African events. We came out a few years ago with the whole Afro-Caribbean vibe, and now everywhere I turn is Afro-Caribbean, and I love it. So there's definitely been a shift, and I feel very proud of what we've done and where we are and where we're going, and the fact that we were able to help kind of usher that in a little bit. And I don't take claim for starting anything, but I feel like
You're a part of it.
you know, there's you can't discredit what we've done and you know what we've been able to accomplish here in South Florida. So I'm glad to see it growing. I'm glad to see love of culture taking a forefront, and there's this whole movement of love yourself and love where you're from and love your skin, and you know, and all of that is a part of it. So again, you know, what's kind of setting it apart outside of the, of course, African niche of it is just that part of the experience where we just want you to feel proud of who you are. We want you to see, you know, representation in every form, all sizes, all, you know, complexions, all ages, all hair types, all whatever, but giving those people that platform. So a lot of our background talent, like the production team, models, hair, makeup, a lot of it, I'm really trying to scan in my brain real quick before I say this, but all of them are Black, and majority of them are female. So I think those are two really, really big things that I hope to be able to continue and highlight. So.
Yeah. And you do it so well. And like, this is amazing because she has designers coming from all over the world. Like, name some of the places where your designers have come from.
We have a lot of local designers. I definitely want to stress that because, you know, they're hidden talents, and these are gems that don't always have the opportunity to showcase. So we do have a lot of local talent, and I definitely encourage people to go. We'll, you know, talk about the website and all of that, but I definitely encourage you all to go to UncoverMiamiWeek.com and check out some of our past designers and support them because they're here. But as far as the ones who have traveled in, we've had Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Paris, and then throughout the States as well. from the Caribbean. We've had Jamaica, we've had Panama, like a lot of different.
Haiti too, right?
Oh, of course. How could I forget? Haiti, of course. So Liberia, just a whole lot of different countries represented, and the fact that people see the value in it enough to book a flight and travel across. It's not. Listen, when I go home, we're talking a good 12, 13 hour flight direct. And that's not an easy feat. So definitely appreciative of the fact that they see the value in being able to come over and showcase right here in Miami. So
nice. So, okay, you've been doing this this is our seventh year. Our 7th year. Oh my gosh. And every year, right? Blessing, completion. So for 7 years, truly there has been a progression. Like, so you as the visionary, you as the executive producer, you as the pioneer, the trailblazer, like, how do you continue to keep reinventing yourself? Like, what's that process like for you? Like, how are you, staying ahead of the fashion industry curve and just reinventing yourself year after year? Because year after year is getting better and better, higher and higher.
It's the people around me. Honestly, I think, if it were just Evelyn, if it were just me, there would be no show. It'd just be me. Hi, everybody. And who wants to pay for that? So it's definitely the people around me. What I appreciate from the team is after each show, we have that debrief opportunity where, I'll send out like a little survey and just say, hey, give me your thoughts. And because the people around me are such direct women, I'll say direct. They're direct women. They're very passionate about what they do in the capacity that they do it, as well as very positive people. They want that they have that same drive for, always doing better and always striving for bigger and better. So I definitely take input from the people who have worked the productions alongside me, because as much as I can go around the room and as much as I can try to touch everything, I don't see everything. And I don't have the opportunity to share everything that might have happened at the check-in table, or everything that might have happened backstage, or everything, it's really important for me to get that feedback from everybody. And there's so many pieces involved. I mean, we have designers, we have models, we have vendors, we have, a DJ that needs to have his music. We have, there's so many different pieces, the photography and the videography and all the different parts that just all of a sudden fit together, and here you are, you have a show. So making sure I get that feedback, we have a conversation and talk about what went wrong, because nothing is perfect. There's always going to be an opportunity for improvement. So we talk about what went wrong, whether or not the audience knew about it or not. Talk about what went wrong and talk about what maybe sparked in somebody's mind that, hey, let's try this next year, or let's turn this around, or let's do it a different way. And because I trust the people that are involved, and I know that it's not just my event at the end of the day, like, they're representing themselves too. A lot of you, I know you invite friends, and I know you talk about it as if it's your own, and that is the biggest blessing in itself. But when you do that, it shows me that it's not about one person. It's about a team effort. And when I say I really, really mean that, like, I really mean that. Like, if I listen, and this is going to sound bad, but no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Look, if I didn't show up for the day of the show, like, the show could run. That's just how awesome the team is. You know what I mean? Like, and that is, isn't that a blessing? Like,
that's a huge
So blessing. I do a lot of the leading up to the day of. Like, I do a lot of that. But the fact that I can't be in all these places at one time the day of, there has to be that trust in the people who are the key parts. So my key hair, Simone from Natural Trendsetters, and my key makeup artist, Lala, the fashionistas, and, you with production, and Sandra and Alana with the designers and the models. Like, if I don't have those people in place who understand their role, understand what needs to get done, and in the time that it needs to get done, nothing would go right. So just making sure that those pieces are in place, and that I have, the input that I can get from them. I stay in contact with everybody throughout the day. So, I definitely am getting updates and giving what feedback I need to give. But literally, like, after we've had our, preview up until the show, and I've given the directives of this is what's going to happen, and we go through our run sheet that you create and all of that. Like, after that's done, I just, come in and be pretty and just, make sure that I'm there as a resource, and I'm there if there are any kind of last minute things. But a lot of times, like, because everybody is so good at what they do and they're so passionate about what they're doing, I have the utmost trust in that. And I appreciate that people see the vision and
they run with it.
Yeah. And
you wrote the vision, she made it plain, and people are able to see it, read it, and run with it. And I think it's so dope for you as an executive producer to say something like that, because I think that's important to note that she said that if she wasn't there the day of the show because of all the stuff that she did and the people that she put in place, like, she don't have to be there and the show would run. Like, that's important to note. Like, not everybody can say that. And then for you to have a team that's devoted to your vision, for you to have a team that can just do what they do in their sphere, and you give them that freedom to just do what they do and do it.
I'm not about micromanaging. Yeah. Like, again, I talk about a lot of my background and between what I did in management and healthcare and just growing up. Mm-hmm. If you're given the tools to do what you need to do, there shouldn't be a reason for somebody to hover over you. I can't be everywhere. That wouldn't make sense. And that's stress on me. Like, why even have those people in place if you feel like you're better, if you feel like you can do it better than them? Like, what's the point? So yeah, I'm all about, if we have a conversation, I'll give my feedback, but at the end of the day, like, I have to trust what it is that you're giving me. And again, there's so many pieces, your design aspect with production, and what's the draping going to look like? Mm-hmm. And what's like, it's just, there's too much. Yeah. There's too much. Like, and that's why the planning part of it is so important. Mm-hmm. You can have that vision, but if it's not, if there's no conversation beforehand and here's the day of, this is how I know it works well, because if the day of everybody is running to you and asking all these questions, then you didn't give them the tools that they needed. So
nice tip.
To reduce my stress, I try to make sure, and listen, I'm not always saying it's timely, because again, nothing is perfect. I'm far from perfect, and I'm still working on me. Thank God, I'm still working on me. Even if it's me, if I just couldn't get that last email out, even though I stayed up till whatever time to make sure everybody got what they needed. If I just need to take a picture of a floor plan and shoot it to somebody, then that's what I need to do. But you got to make it happen. You can't leave people unprepared, because the customer service aspect of it is, if I'm telling somebody you're the lead and they're coming to you and you don't have that information, or you're not able to help them, then it looks bad. So I have to prepare you with what you need in order to be able to do what it is that you do. But from that point, it's your discretion. So I think, the the original question was like, how do I get it? How do I actually implement the vision, and how do I make it better and better? It's because the people around me are committed to making it better and better. So, I just thank God for that. It's just making sure you put the right people around you and have the right people, in your space. So
that's a good tip. That's a good tip.
Yeah, you have to, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to surround yourself with positive people. You have to. Otherwise, the days that I feel like I'm over it, like it looks great. It looks great.
Baby.
Let's have a moment real quick. It looks great. Yeah. It looks, it's amazing. It's a wonderful thing. I don't always have the opportunity to like sit back and really think about what we just did. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I'll see a picture, or I'll see a video recap or something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's mine. Like, wow, that's my event. That looks awesome. But I don't always have that reflection time, and I'm trying to learn to do that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. A lot more recently with the last few shows. I've had to be like, okay, really look through and really understand what just happened, and think about what impact it might have had on that person that was involved. So maybe a designer, was there media coverage for that designer, and how did they feel about getting that coverage? Mm-hmm. Or did the salon or did the makeup artist get any additional bookings because they did the event? Like, what's the benefit to the person that was involved? And outside of any financial compensation or outside of whatever sponsorship or whatever that might be, like, what is the actual gain for that person. So, I don't always hear it from everybody. I don't always have the opportunity to see whatever that post benefit might be. But when I do, like, eventually I might just ask somebody, or I might get into that conversation. And it's a good thing to hear that I'm, helping or giving a platform to somebody that they might not have had.
Yeah.
Or giving them a new audience. Like, I think our audience is, like, amazing. Like, there's a lot of
diverse.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that come in and just have such a love for it and wait all year. Like, oh, I have the perfect outfit. It's like, we have Black Panther coming up and everybody's like, what are you wearing? And I feel like I have that same sort of vibe. And every once in a while when I'm up front and I see the guests coming in, that's a proud moment. Like, when I see them walking in and they're just head to toe, like, beautiful. Man, that audience, some of them need to be on the runway. Like, the way they're dressed and the way they just walk in with this air of, like, royalty. And I love it. Yeah, I love it. So just having those, whatever that tiny little moment of reflection is, and just appreciating that people appreciate it. I think that keeps it moving forward, because if it weren't for those little nuggets, I just hide under the covers and just not do anything. It's motivation, because I know, like I said, I've seen the shift, and there's more to do. So keeps you going.
So tell us, because this show is called #Creative Mindset. Describe to the world, like, what's, as you being the visionary behind this movement, like, what's your creative mindset like? I want people to get an idea of your creative mindset. Like, what is that like? What is that?
Nothing is impossible, first of all. So just having the mindset that, it's real cliche, you hear it all the time, but if you can, dream it, you can achieve it. Like, anybody who's in a great space started, or any of these legends that we have, or any of the people that we look at, like, oh my God, they're so, the Beyoncés of the world, and the great athletes, and Serena, and whoever else, like, they started because they had that initial thought of, this is what I want to do. So just having that intention, like, this is my year of intention. So having that intention of, this is what I want to do, and saying, this is how I'm going to set out to do it. Or at least saying, this is what my end result will be. The how you're going to get there will come. But I think making it plain, making that intention a true statement, and then figuring out, okay, what are the steps to doing that? So number one, in my mindset, again, it's not just Evelyn. So number one, to me, it's, okay, who do I need to have around me to make this happen?
Wow.
I saw this little clip, and I shared it with a few people, but I saw this clip by Issa Rae, where she was being interviewed, and they asked her, well, I don't know what they asked her, but I saw the response in the clip, and it was just basically her saying, we always look to, like, network up and, reach out to the Oprahs of the world. But there are people around you who are, on the same level that you are, and we're all trying to grind, and why not pull those people in, and you all grow together. And I think that, like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, like, that's exactly what I do. Like, I try to make sure that wherever it is, if I approach you and I say, I'd really love your help, I'd really love for you to get involved in XYZ, whatever project it is that I'm doing, where do you see yourself fitting in, if it's something that you're interested in? Because if you don't put that person, you do production, I wouldn't ask you to come in and
do makeup.
Look how you said that. I wouldn't ask you to come in and do something that you're not either comfortable doing or you're not passionate about doing, because you're not going to do it to the best of your ability. So finding what that person's, having the conversation, and finding out what that person's, where that person's passion lies, and what their interest is, because then they're going to feel good about what it is that they're doing. And my mom taught me that, like, put people in the place of where they want to be, and they'll deliver every time, because that's what they want to be doing. And if you're doing something begrudgingly, or if you're doing something and it's like, oh, whatever, I just do it, none of it will work the way that you want it to work out. So having the right people around me, once I have that vision, just making sure, and I know, like, I keep going back to that, but that's the basis of a good production, a good company, a good whatever. Like, this isn't a solo project. I'm not doing taxes. I'm not like, this is something that we're inviting people, and I have, show attendance of 300, 500. Like, you have to be able to have a well-oiled machine and always be willing to improve on that, and always be willing to, critique things and fine-tune them and make it better and better. And I think that's what we've been able to do, and that's what we're going to continue to do. So as far as creative mindset, having that vision, saying this is what I want my end to be, and then getting people in place to help get to that goal. And while you're doing that, while you're getting those people in place, hopefully whatever it is that they're doing is helping. Because a lot of the people I have involved, of course, have their own brands and are building as well. So getting people on board with something that can be added to a portfolio or a resume or whatever is always a wonderful benefit for me as well. So, yeah.
And I'm going to tell you guys, because you said that so well, like literally MD Simmons Productions was really, really kind of guinea pigged and birthed out of Cara Miami Fashion. Like, real talk. Like, I don't know why she'll listen and do what I tell her to do, and everybody else would listen and
listening to this little woman,
right? And then it just continued to just grow and grow, and it build my confidence. It just build my creativity the more, and it is just so like. It's so awesome to be connected with like-minded people, or people who are just doing things positive, and, where you can flex your muscle of creativity, of production, or whatever it is, and find yourself in those elements. Network, see who you have around, your circle, and just build and do something together.
Right. How many Macy's events have you done?
Oh, our photography company is official. Like, we do it.
It's, and not saying that in, with all humility, but that's the point.
Yeah.
While you're there, yes, of course, we're focused on what's happening in the moment, but take whatever opportunity you can from that. Like, it'd be silly not to. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are done, but I want Evelyn to just talk about and just close out with just what we have coming up, because in the next 2.5-3 weeks will be the biggest show of the year. Make sure you get your tickets. But she's going to tell you all about that and just kind of close us out. And
okay. Yeah. So February 22 through 25 on Cara Miami 2018, Florida's premier African Fashion Week. So we have a 4-day event with Mixer, which is the opening like meet and greet where we have participants come out and just get to know each other before the event starts for anybody who's new. We also acknowledge a couple of local community leaders. So just to say thank you for promoting cultural arts initiatives, whether that be in education or whatever form that is for them. As well as the next 2 days, the Friday and the Saturday, are 2 runway shows. So the Friday show will be at Toyota of North Miami. Very appreciative of them. We're returning back to that venue to do the first show, and then the second show will be at Newport Beachside Hotel and Resort.
Nice.
Off Collins. So 2 great locations. And then the pop-up shop. Oh, sorry. For the runway shows, you have the show, you have vendors, you have artwork, little meet and greet time with anybody that's milling around. And then 2 awesome shows. 2 awesome shows. So then the Sunday to close out, we do a pop-up shop, because it's awesome that we can sit in a crowd and, clap it up when somebody hits the runway and entertains you. But at the end of the day, these are brands as well, and their bottom line is getting the exposure to sell their product. So that showcases in order for them to allow you to see what they have and now say, okay, come and support. So a couple of years ago, we started the pop-up opportunities in order for them to be able to sell right after the event. So Sunday is the closing pop-up shop at 1310 Gallery. We're back in that beautiful space up in Fort Lauderdale, and all sorts of, so we'll have the runway designers as well as some registered vendors who are not showcasing, but they'll all be involved in the Sunday pop-up, and those are awesome. You have everything from women's apparel to men's apparel to home decor, shoes, accessories, just all sorts of really, really cool stuff that you normally wouldn't find. And hoping to make a really, really big announcement soon. So I was hoping to make that here, but I just want to make sure I have a stamp on it.
Okay.
Before this goes all the way out, but hoping to make a really big announcement because I want to be able to continue to provide the opportunity for people to gain access to African goods easily, without having to wait for orders or without having to, search online. Like, I want you to be able to touch and feel. So we do quarterly pop-ups. We do have pop-ups throughout Miami and Broward where people can come and shop, but I want something a little bit more consistent. So outside of the Fashion Week in February, we have Ankara Swim coming in July, July 21 and 22. That's during Miami Swim Week. And again, started that 2 years ago because I just felt like that was something that had been sitting in me. Like, you got to do this. Like, Miami Swim Week is such a big week here, but there's no real, there wasn't any African presence. So, hi, here we are. So we've done that the last 2 years. So the third year is coming up with designers from Africa and the Caribbean being represented in swimwear and in resort wear. So another awesome production with that one. But then throughout the year, we do all sorts of networking events. We work with other brands to do more social events, so party vibes, African Elite being one of them. Just really, really good local brands here that we, strategically partner with to make sure our movement continues to move forward. Freak is another one. Anyway, so just making sure that you stay connected. We do things all year long. You can join our mailing list on the website, and with that mailing list, you get first notice on any free RSVPs. You get promo codes for ticket sales, and then you just stay updated with what's going on with Ankara Miami. So that's what we got throughout the year, and I definitely encourage, if you haven't been to any of the Ankara Miami events, come and you're able to even come to the pop-up shop's free. Even if you're just coming to purchase or just look around. I mean, a lot of times you come through, collect cards, and get to know some of the people, because a lot are traveling in, but a lot are local. Like I said, a lot of local talent. So if you're able and available, I would check out the website. I check out the different opportunities to be a part of the week, and
introduce yourself to this chick, whoever you are. Introduce yourself. It's all about connecting, networking, and just building this force, this movement behind African culture, fashion, just everything. I just love it. So
thank you.
Thank you. Like,
always appreciate it. I look forward to so much more. We have a lot to do. This is just
and I can't wait till you announce that announcement. Oh my God. So keep it, just stay connected, join the newsletter, join the movement, and we will be back the following Wednesday, because next Wednesday is the Love Day, Valentine's Day. So be with your booze, be with yourself, do whatever you want to do. And we'll see you all Wednesday, February 21st. Good night. I love you all. Bye.
Are we ever gonna know? You should make up your mind. Take it back to my shrine, and I'ma need the whole night and a little bit more. They don't know how you like it. I'ma need the whole night and a little bit more. They don't know.
But it's sunrise and I'm still in your bed. Good night usually means goodbye. Me replaying memories in